Get ready to quit the build.
Here we go!
The QTB crew is rounding up all the gaming news and hot topics of the week with a little extra something. And here are your hosts, Bruno, Brad, and Nick.
Hello and welcome to the QTB podcast. My name is Nick, and right down there in the corner is the one, the only, my co-host. If he were in the military, he'd be a drill sergeant. Ladies and gentlemen, it is QTB's Brad. How was your weekend, sir?
Oh, well, you hit it on the head.
Yeah. Yep, they love it.
They love it. And you hit it on the head. Drill sergeant, that's what I did this weekend. I drank some beer, and I smoked some good meat. So, it was Memorial Day.
Yeah.
It's the perfect time to barbecue. Meat prices were up, but who cares? I smoked some ribs, and they were fantastic.
I saw that little peach bourbon rib action there, right?
Bourbon peach ribs. Yeah, man, I went with a new rub, 5.5 hour smoke, just throwing it easy, simple, throw it on, pull them off. They were delicious. So
now we're talking.
And now we're
there
here. We're here. It's the perfect time of year. Summer's around the corner. I got my summer QTB merch on right here, ready to go.
Yeah.
Got that retro logo shirt going on. It is a great time of the year for the QTB podcast.
I'm rocking the Sonic style logo here. I mean, you can't go wrong with this, but we're already plugging merch. We got people to introduce, Brad. First of all,
I know.
Gotta say, yes, returning guest and part of the QTB network. Hello, what is going on? Enzo from the Double DQ podcast. There he is.
How you doing? Listen, you guys know I kind of fire off sometimes when I get on these sort of things, and I have something to tell you. So,
okay.
I've been waiting for this. This was 3 weeks ago, and I've been waiting for this moment. I was cleaning out my car, and I was deep cleaning my car, like every crack, every crevice. It's a 2008 Chevy Malibu, and then I found in my 2008 Chevy Malibu, in the darkest of its soul, 2005's Electroplankton, and I'm really just not sure how it got there.
Oh, nice.
I don't know when or how. It doesn't match up in the years, but there it is.
So first of all, that might be worth something. Second of all, the only reason I know about that game is because it has a level in Super Smash Brothers that no one likes.
Okay, all right.
It's just that flat, green backdrop. Appropriate for your lighting situation there.
Yes, but I don't remember buying it. I don't remember, it can't be something that was previously, I've owned it since the car has existed, so.
Right.
Well, look at that. I mean,
the audience think that's just a hoot. So,
a gift from the universe.
Well,
seriously.
And look at that. That's our other surprise. We don't have one special guest. We have two. Nick, who else do we got today?
Brad. We have the one, the only. He's looking around. It's Liam Baining from Fantastic Tech on YouTube and TikTok. Liam, welcome to the podcast. We're really excited to have you. Wait for it. There it is.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's good to be here. I don't have any kind of awesome story of intro like that. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to sit comfortably right now, but it's good to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah. So for those of you that may not know, if you follow us on TikTok, you may have seen us kind of go back and forth. That's where we met. Some of the content that we put out has been Halo related, and I think you've even duetted some of it and responded in the comments to when we've been talking about Halo Infinite, what is going on here? And we're going to get into that later because that's definitely a recurring game to get the definitive Liam review of Halo Infinite so far. I got to tell you, it's not going to be pretty.
No.
It's not going to be pretty.
No, it's not.
No. Oh, man. Well, this is episode 105. Ooh. And, I'm super glad that it is episode 105 because I love things that come in fives. And, hey, one of the reasons why I love things that come in fives is because of our sponsor, warbyparker.com. Absolutely. So, warbyparker.com, the reason why I say that is because they have revolutionized the experience of buying prescription glasses by sending pairs straight to your door. We got a model over here. Brad, you got those from Warby Parker, right?
That's correct. These are Warby Parker prescription glasses with the blue light filter right here on my face right now.
You can't go wrong. Look, we are staring at screens all day. That's just how it is. And with Warby Parker, you can actually get them added on. But they bring the glasses to you when you go to warbyparker.com. You can get 5 pairs for 5 days sent straight to you. No risk. If you don't like them, send them back. Otherwise, they will work with your existing prescriptions to get you custom lenses and some very stylish frames as well. And they even accept payment via FSA. And like Brad said, the blue light filter is even built right in. So what are you waiting for? Go over to warbyparkertrial.com/QTB to get 5 frames for 5 days risk-free. The link is in the show notes. There you go. I am overkilling it on the record scratch.
I was going to say,
too
that's
much.
5.
It's so
I've
good,
counted.
though. It's so good.
I don't have a fade button, so all I can do is just bring it to a screeching halt.
Hey, it's a great segue.
Yeah, it is. But look, we have got a very exciting first big story here, and this is a recent trailer that dropped about Jedi Survivor, right, from the Star Wars universe. This game set to come out in 2023. You know, we had the original Fallen Order that was very well received. Fantastic narrative-driven action RPG-style game. And, you know, we didn't see a whole lot in this trailer, but it was definitely enough to get people excited for the return of Jedi Cal Kestis. So I'll kick it over to you first, Brad. You know, looking at this, you know, are you excited about what you see so far?
I just think it's an indicator of that we are reaching another moment of peak Star Wars content, of Star Wars brilliance. I mean, if you look across not just what's going on in the gaming industry, but everywhere, I mean, how many new Obi-Wan Kenobi just launched? They've got 3 or 4 other series planned that are in the Star Wars, canon that are coming out here in the next 6 months to a year. We are reaching peak level Star Wars content for the next generation, right? You know, now it's transcended into these newer characters, into this next generation of fans, and these games are following suit to hook and get these new generations into the amazingness that is Star Wars. That's all I can say. It's brilliant. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
I am with you 100%. I think with the new Disney Plus episodes coming out, the series coming out that have really found those little stories and pockets of the universe that we want to know more about, coupled with a lot of the games coming out recently, there's a lot to like here. Enzo, I mean, what do you think in terms of just like peak Star Wars? Did Star Wars already peak from a gaming perspective? You know, do you think it has potential to reach those highs again?
Okay, so this is an interesting question for me because I like Star Wars. I've never had a good relationship with Star Wars games. They've always been,
okay.
other than the Hoth level and, you know, like the one for N64. Like that's, again, to a lot of people, that was peak Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I look at it, I kind of think of it as this perspective of, oh, Star Wars is good again, so we're forgiving EA for everything they've ever done with this series. Okay, okay, fine, yeah, that's where I come in at. I'm like, okay, so we're giving them another chance.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if it's for me yet. It's been a little while since I've gotten into recent Star Wars games, so I'm not the target audience. But I did watch the trailer. I did want to play that game when I saw that trailer.
It looks really good. I mean, people just want more Cal. Cal Kestis is a beloved character, of course, played by, was it Cameron Monaghan, who was in Gotham. And that's a great trend that we're seeing now where these big AAA games have a motion-captured person, and not just someone in a suit. It's a real actor that can convey emotion, and I think really took Fallen Order to the next level. I mean, where are you at with this, Liam? The trailer looks good, but does this get you hyped for this next entry?
Yes, in the way that we're getting another, single-player Star Wars game. Cal was the best part. Cal and gameplay were the best part of Fallen Order. I wasn't too invested in this story. I didn't necessarily kind of care about any of the side characters or anything like that. I was pretty disconnected to the environments. My enjoyment of Star Wars is basically what the movies feed you, and we saw very different landscapes and environments and maps and stuff, which I'm not exactly sure how oh my gosh, this place, heck yeah, I read it in a book 10 years ago on one line and now they're bringing it into a game. I'm not that level, and if that was for some people, aces. I'm sure that was fantastic. But yeah, I was pretty disconnected from a lot of the other stuff. Cal was awesome. Yeah, Cameron did an amazing job with just like totally anything he said. The voice acting, the motion capture was really cool for sure. The gameplay obviously was really fluid. I'm more stoked for the gameplay. I have no idea who's in that tank in the teaser, and I'm not exactly sure who the Sith bad guy is in the teaser. But I'm stoked for it for sure. EA Battlefront games were rough for sure. 2 kind of came around. Star Wars games for me, I would say, not far as far back as N64, but Lego Star Wars, the original one for the original Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. That was probably peak Star Wars games for me. Battlefront 1 and 2 were cool. I never played the original Battlefront 1 or 2. I feel like I kind of missed out on that.
Yeah.
But more Star Wars is always good. And when I feel like we've seen a lot of big franchise IPs been really just kind of dragged through the mud the last decade, I think Star Wars is kind of coming out of that, which is good. So
we're seeing decent quality of titles, right, Brad? I'm looking at what we've got
Nick,
down the pipeline.
I was gonna say, haven't you done a full-fledged breakdown of every Star Wars game that's existed ever on our TikTok, right? So
I'm working on it now, and someone already said in the pre-show, shout out to Jacob, saying, "Can you do more Star Wars games?" Yeah. So okay, so some context here. I put out a video on TikTok saying hey, what games should I make jingles about? That's most of what I do on TikTok. And someone said, list the Star Wars games. I'm like, oh, no problem. How long could that take? So I did, We Didn't Start the Fire, because I used that for the GTA games and got that done in 1 episode. 2 if you count the little DLC packs I did, because everyone was giving me a hard time. So I'm doing that. We're on part 5 right now. I think it's going to be a 10-part series, which you would think, okay, not a big deal.
How many games, though?
There's so many
That's
games.
my question.
Did
right?
you get to Battle of Terracasa yet?
I did, yeah. I did.
And so that's why I bring that up.
I hate that game.
As we've seen in just talking with Enzo and Liam, everyone has their own opinion of where peak Star Wars gaming has been for them, because there's been so many games, right? So I guess to your earlier question, maybe this will be peak gaming territory for some fans, but maybe it won't be, because now is this another drop in the ever-growing fountain of Star Wars games that have come out in the last 40, 50 years, right? I mean, that, and is it really gameplay based? Is it not really the story? Is it about the mechanics and what you're doing in the game? Because part of what makes Star Wars such a fun, arena to be in is using the Force or wielding a lightsaber or flying a ship. And I think everyone has their own interest in what they want to do in a game when it comes to Star Wars, right?
And I won't spoil it, but for those that haven't played Fallen Order, but the ending is pretty intense, and there's some cool tie-ins to the larger Star Wars universe that definitely make it worth your while to get through the game. And I'm seeing that more now, where they are trying to create original content and find clever ways to find places in the timeline where it makes sense for them to show up. I mean, and as I've been listing off all of these Star Wars games on TikTok, I mean, there's so many games where it was just clearly a cash grab, right? And just countless remakes of all these games. But right now, I really do think we're in a pocket. We've got the KOTOR remake coming up. KOTOR in general has been getting love with ports and releases on different platforms like the Switch. 1 and 2. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga got very good reviews on Metacritic, so that concept of easygoing but fun Star Wars gameplay still alive. Star Wars Eclipse coming down the pipeline, supposed to be like a Division-style open-world game from the guys that made... yeah, I really hope so, too. It's probably years away.
Oh, man.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, going through all of these Star Wars games, you've had the a rare vantage point and opportunity to see the best, the worst of the worst. I owned a ridiculous amount of Tiger Electronic games as a kid. I can't recall one single Star Wars one. Am I totally missing something here?
There has to be, right?
But it doesn't pop in your head. Like there was a Street Fighter one, there's a Sonic one. Get back to that later.
Multiple people Googling it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty.
It has to be there. I even had the Ghostbusters Tiger Electronic that was shaped like the firehouse.
Okay, there was one.
There was
Tiger
one.
Electronic Star Wars, at least one. Imperial Assault. Oh, is this unlocking some memories for you, Liam?
Yes. When the second N64 came out, I was like, oh, shoot, I'm so young. But hold up. We might be tagging something here. Okay. I'm also looking at the Star Wars Giga Pets, apparently.
What?
They went the Tamagotchi route, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the first thing that popped up.
What hasn't Star Wars touched yet? I mean, I feel like they've hit everything along the way, right?
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the one that eluded me, where I never ever remembered seeing a Tiger Electronic Star Wars game, and it kind of always sat a little wrong with me. But there's one. Okay, there's one.
Okay. So some of our viewer comments, as we always mention here on the podcast, one of the perks of watching our live stream on Tuesday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, is that your comments can become part of the show. We've got the Dudist Monk, a.k.a. Terry. Hi, Terry, saying, Star Wars had a presence in gaming since the classics, and they will continue to make games in the future. It's a great synergy between movie fans and gamers. I definitely agree. You know, when I was playing through Fallen Order, I think I'd mentioned this before, because you have that actor that my wife, who loves Gotham, recognized him immediately. She was invested in the story. Like, she wanted to see how it played out. She liked watching the cutscenes because it was a very realistic, a character that Cal was being depicted by his actor. So I definitely think there is some validity there. Now, Liam, we do have Xavier Ryan saying that Sith is not a Sith, he is a senator. And we also find out that Anakin Skywalker knew about Cal Kestis and his master, Jero Tapal. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. And, there you go.
All right.
Viewer comments.
I mean,
there you go.
Already you can see we've got listeners who are diehard fans who know who've broken down that trailer second by second and know what's coming. And that should get people excited. You can see that there is folks out there who are already ready. You know, they're ready for this for tomorrow. Like, they're ready for it to happen.
And people who weren't around for the 70s, like my parents weren't into movies like that necessarily. Or they were about upper teens, but that was a generation of Star Wars fans. And then the prequels came out, and those people went, ugh. But me with the prequels was like, yes. And that was when I got into Star Wars. And now some of the later movies, I still like them for different reasons. But then people who were like original diehards and prequel tolerators were like, these movies are terrible. But there is a huge generational release with the 7, 8, and 9 more games, and whoever people who were 8, 9, 10 younger kids who don't have necessarily as much criticism of everything to come out inherently, maybe, I guess. Like,
you don't think
are probably eating everything up.
You don't think I went and saw that second trilogy because of Natalie Portman? Because I did. I mean, storylines aside, I mean, if you can get character likeness in the games, I think you got people. That's why people play it. So,
absolutely. Of course, Jar Jar, though, Brad. I mean, that's really why the people are there. The comic relief character.
Who's
gotta love him.
The funniest.
Secretly a Sith Lord, right?
I still believe that's what they meant to have happen. I've heard stories about that he was going to end up being the big bad and was playing dumb because he ends up becoming a part of the Senate, right? He makes it as a politician. Jar Jar can make it.
Long game.
That's right.
He would have to drop the voice and then just have a completely sinister, darker character voice.
Yes.
That's the only way that could work, right?
Don't call me Jar Jar, call me JJ.
It's like if the Swedish chef was all of a sudden the biggest villain, is like, I wouldn't take you seriously. So you change the voice.
I mean, look, and I guess at this point we can kind of drop this since these the new trilogy's been out long enough. Like, for Palpatine to be the big bad again, why couldn't it have been Jar Jar?
Yeah.
Jar Jar would have been the shock.
Is that the shirt?
Moment.
Why not Jar Jar?
Why not Jar Jar? I'll get Bruno to make that design. Oh, man. Well, speaking of designs, as always, we want to say thanks so much to our Patreon supporters. And I say designs because on our Patreon page, you can get access to a lot of exclusive merchandise, like stickers. We've got an exclusive mug and a whole lot of other great things as well. Hello. Boy, that cuts in fast, doesn't it? Those trumpets will get you every time. As always, thank you so much to our Patreon and Fuego supporters, Epic Capture Productions and Matt.Bat, and our QTV Plus supporters, Nick, the Dudist Monk, Indie Gamiacs, Alan Abadessa, Mr. Grove Games, The Intergalactic Pinecone, and Fluffy Bunny. Listen, folks, just $2 a month will get you access to our QTV Nostalgia Vault and the uncut versions of all of our QTV podcast episodes. Brad, we just did a doubleheader. You and I talked about McDonald's, and then we came back and talked about Burger King. Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, special orders. Don't upset us, isn't that right?
All I can say, man, those were a whopper of the 2 episodes.
Oh, hold on. Oh, no, we need to laugh. There we go. I will cut the jingle for that. There you go. But as always, thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You can go to patreon.com/quitthebuild and check out our tiers. We do appreciate the support. Gents, we have got to get into our next story, and that is going to be Sonic Frontiers. Okay, so we knew about this for a while. We got a very, very brief teaser a while back, and we're still getting brief teasers, but at least this new trailer has revealed some gameplay footage, and I have to tell you, I'm excited about what I see. Okay, so I'm going to establish my credentials here. I'm a big Sonic fan, grew up in the heyday, had the Dreamcast, had Sonic Adventure, and watched the slow and steady decline of 3D Sonic over the years. We've had some very, very brief flashes of greatness that just seem to get lost in the Sega Shuffle. And here we are with what seems to be the most promising entry in the Sonic 3D franchise in probably 20-plus years. I'm getting big Sonic Adventure vibes from this brief trailer. I love the open world concept. This trailer alone made Breath of the Wild trend on Twitter, which it's so easy to make Breath of the Wild. Like anybody can do it. It's very easy to do.
There's a reason why Breath of the Wild 2's been taking 3 years to make, because they've been basically making it in Sonic Frontiers. Like,
I love it.
You know, if you look at that trailer, I mean, it has the depth and the open world concept that you would expect to get in Breath of the Wild, right? And so to see that in a Sonic game, man, that looks. I don't. You know, I haven't played a Sonic game in a long time, and that got me excited. Maybe, you know, I want to pick that up and check that out. It looks incredible.
I mean, I'm getting almost to compare it to the Sega franchise. I'm kind of getting like Phantasy Star vibes from it, with the kind of the sci-fi open world, kind of lush environments. It looks like a lot of fun to traverse. I just know that if anyone's gonna mess this up, oh boy, is it Sonic Team. I just
But they've been doing so good recently.
What are you trying to say?
They've had the best of track records, Liam. I mean, Sonic Forces, boy, that's. Making a Fursona was the height of my
it's
my
never
Sonic
a good
career.
sign when you say that, and the only thing you're met with is smarmy sarcasm. It's really not a good sign.
I mean, look, I want them to figure out what works with 3D Sonic. That's it, right? 2D Sonic.
So do they.
It out.
They also want to know what works with 3D Sonic.
They want money. I want to give them money, and I usually end up giving them money. But most people will think twice and wait. Man, you know, we've had so many just near hits. You know, where they were just they had the right idea, but they couldn't quite deliver on the experiences. And then you have just complete jokes like Sonic Boom, and there's stories behind the development and how it just completely crapped out because they had to port the thing to the Wii U.
So that's why I got to ask you three, because I feel like you guys have more of an opinionated take than I do on this. What about going from 2D to 3D would make a Sonic game that much more exciting? Like, what is missing, or what is added by going to 3D? What does Sonic Frontiers look like it's going to offer you that you didn't get in those near hits before? Enzo, what do you think?
So to start, this game looks like, and what people have said is, Zelda meets Horizon. So I think the key is make your Sonic game like other popular games. Take key elements from those and then just try to fit in the parts that people like, aka the first level of Sonic Adventure. And you know, like if you can do that and make it cohesive, then I think you're on to something. But I think it's proven that when they make a pure solid Sonic 3D game, it never seems to it doesn't have the pace that it needs to have throughout the entire game. Their pacing is wrong. It's all over the place. Then they're like, hey, here's Amy. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, I guess, but what? Why?
Yeah.
You know,
here's 20 side characters.
Yeah. Yeah, Biggs the cat.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Leave. No one likes you.
Don't disrespect Biggs. He is my favorite Chonkers cat. He likes fishing. He's got a froggy pal.
Go hang out with Kate Sith somewhere. Like, go.
Give them their own game.
Yeah.
Kate Sith and Biggs Adventure.
It'll just be a pachinko game. It'll just be a weird shoot.
You're not wrong. But yeah, you know, the thing that I think people are really pining for is that Sonic Adventure especially the first one, was able to create the concept of a hub world, right? Where you could move around, you could explore an area, and then you had the action stages that are built inside of it. Now, I remember some people talking that said in some tests that they weren't supposed to. They were under NDA, implying we still will have those proper Sonic stages where you will go through this hub world. You will find these portals that will take you into a classic kind of 3D, 2D hybrid runner that we see in a lot of these modern Sonic games. And that's exactly what we want, what Enzo was saying at that first stage of Sonic Adventure. So iconic. We really want more of that. And you're not going to get that in an open world environment. So there needs to be a mix of both. And look, how long now have people been begging for a Sonic Adventure 3? I think this is what they've had in mind, even though we don't seem to have any other playable characters besides Sonic. I don't see people complaining too much. But I mean, where are you at with Sonic, Liam? Do you think there's potential here, or do you think that Sonic as a franchise has just lost its way entirely?
I must have presented a very inaccurate presentation of my connection to Sonic, because I haven't played much at all. I have, looking at like some of the top 10 Sonic games list, I played, I don't even know what system it would have been on, but one of the side-scrolling Sonic games. And then I had Sonic Adventure 2 for the GameCube, which is still rated very positive on Steam. So that's cool.
Yeah,
and it's
it's a good
$10. I might have to buy it. But that's it. And I have no idea what that game was about, and I have no idea what any of the other Sonic games about, because I was, probably like 7 and 8 when I played these, maybe. And yeah, had no idea how to really intake on video game story. I knew shows and movies, but I didn't realize that video games non-movie video games also had stories. Didn't really get that. Shrek 2, I'm sold. Give me that more. Sonic Adventure 2, no idea. So I have no idea. I saw the gameplay trailer and I was like, oh snap, open world Sonic, that's cool. And especially just Sonic runs super fast and is incredibly, the character is mobile, and so putting that in open world just gives you, a big breath to run around. Oh gosh, Breath of the Wild connections. Lots of space to move around. I didn't even mean to. Oh no.
Hold on.
Nope.
Solid. Just lots of room to run around and be awesome Sonic. I don't know. Past that though, I have no idea. I don't know what to be excited for or to be worried for. So, but if it comes out in whenever an old classic series like that comes out and does well, I saw the release of Forces and then heard nothing after that. But if it's well, it's okay. So there we go then.
Can I offer a
but yeah, if it comes out and it's well, that's only good.
I want to offer a perspective real quick on Sonic.
Okay.
When you think back at Sonic Adventure, in the 3D Sonic realm, the best parts of Sonic are the parts you're not playing, and that's always been an issue if you really think about it. It's the big loop and the run and past the whale and this and that. It's like, that's so great. You're not touching the controller in that moment, though.
You don't need to.
Yeah. And that's kind of the problem in itself, is that
like where it sends you into loop and does all this automatically?
Yeah, it does it all for you. It's
gotcha.
It's the QuickTime event without a QuickTime event.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're not wrong. And that's been the challenge of 3D Sonic, right? Is that in 2D and the 2D space, it's very easy to curate what's coming, and with enough skill, you can figure out when it's time to jump. But even then, the speed has to be controlled so that you have a chance of actually doing things that aren't just a memory of like, oh, I know I have to jump at this one part. You have a chance to actually respond and let your reflexes take over. But in a 3D space, yeah, the big problem is that it's very difficult to capture that sense of speed while still maintaining control of your character, right? Mm-hmm. We're seeing more games that try to offer that, but not at the levels that Sonic does, rather. So many of these games have a boost mechanic where you can just basically break the sound barrier, and you're just, there's so many things that are going by that you don't really appreciate. It also makes for a harder game to develop. That's a lot of stuff that has to go into a very long level. And it now in an open space, a lot of bigger things that have to be created and crafted in an open world. Look, 2D Sonic found its perfection when Sonic 3 and Knuckles was created. I'm sorry, that is always going to be peak Sonic for most fans. Brad and I, we have an interview coming up with Roger Hector, who was the one of the VPs, or rather the head of Sega of America when Sonic 3 and Knuckles came out. And, hearing about his story, we can't wait to share that, by the way. Cool. I guess that's our announcement, Brad, but we'll...
Teaser.
Those episodes are coming. Yeah. It was such a great conversation to hear about just the peak Sonic and Sega in its prime. And then for Sonic Mania to come out recently, fairly recently, and just find that formula and say, hey, we're going to take the people, the fans, right? Christian Whitehead, who was notorious for going back and creating mods of a lot of like Sonic CD and that kind of thing, and mastering those games as fan games and saying, hey, we're going to pay you to make a game. Fantastic. They did. It's such a well-received game. But then Sega still fumbles the ball because the sequel to Sonic Mania doesn't get made because there was a disagreement between Sega and their studios. Supposedly, and this is just a rumor, but I believe it, Sega of Japan was salty that a bunch of fans were making better Sonic games than Sonic Team, and so they kind of they scuppered the ship or scuttled the ship, so to speak. And they made sure that sequel didn't see the light of day. I hope that's not true, but regardless, I really, really am hoping that this can be the 3D renaissance for Sonic that we need. We saw it with Sonic Generations. It can be done. There is a way to make it work. They just have to not screw it up, which I don't like.
That's always the way it is. They just have to not screw it up. That's a lesson in life.
Well, so let's flip the question then. Is this the last chance for them to make it right before you give up on it? Is this the last straw?
I can't give up on Sonic. He's my boy.
You're the problem. See, this is...
I know I am. I bought Sonic 06, Enzo.
They just need one sale. They're still going to make it. So
whenever
you stop, they stop.
Sonic.
Nick, you need to get a sponsor from Sonic Japan. You were just like, can we listeners, can we get that for Nick, because he's going to be the one guy that keeps them going year in and year out over here.
But that's the story of Sega, right? Not a lot of people know this, but when the Dreamcast flopped, Sega was in so much financial trouble. They had debts they couldn't repay. The only reason why they were able to pivot into software production was because of their one person who had loaned them a lot of money. On his deathbed, actually forgave the loan. It was like tens of millions of dollars. If it wasn't for him doing that right at that moment, Sega would have gone under entirely. But it was because that loan was forgiven that they were able to move on and go into the software space. So really, we're kind of in a timeline where we're lucky that Sega even exists at all. So it just seems like they're sputtering from release to release. We're hearing stories now that they want to revive some of their classic IPs like Space Channel 5 and Crazy Taxi. Yes, please, by the way.
Yes.
That we want to see that from them.
A game that no one can stream because of the music? Sure.
The releases they did later, they took out like the Pizza Hut and KFC, and all the Offspring music was just like generic rock tracks, which completely takes away Crazy Taxi from Crazy Taxi. I need Offspring blaring in the background.
That's why you got to get Simpsons Road Rage, and then you can just do it. But it's Simpsons, man. Like,
it's not the same.
Underrated game.
It is underrated, but it's not the same.
It's not the same, but if you're you need to scratch that itch, it can help you in a bind.
Aren't we also getting a hit and run reboot or remake on the note of Simpsons games?
I thought I heard something about that.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at right now, is that, if there's a game that you can remake and make some easy bucks, that's what people are doing, because so many times we brought this up on the podcast about this, the time it takes to make a new AAA game. Just go back and get something.
Well, you don't see a lot of new IPs these days.
Those remakes have double value now because it's the initial sales launch and then the potential to be added to the catalog of the subscription service. So now you're building games and releasing games that have extend the life of not only your primary sales but also your subscription sales, because now you expand
Sonic
your library.
Spinball 2, please.
See,
I would play that game.
I would play that.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Mm-hmm. I love the offshoots of games that are fun, like Kirby's Dream Course. Why has there not been a sequel? It was a fabulous game. It's delightful as heck. So give me more. It's a literal Kirby ball.
We need to create a petition with a list of these games that we can send and say, hey, make these. We've got enough people interested.
Yeah, weirdest memory I have from video game rental history was coming home from the video warehouse, whatever, with Sonic Spinball and All Real Monsters, and I played All Real Monsters for 5 seconds and never playing that again, and then Sonic Spinball was the weekend.
Yeah, a lot of those IP, the cash-in platformers back in the day.
Home Improvement.
You still get them. Yeah, Home Improvement was awesome, and I don't care what anybody says. It was like basically
weird.
Sonic the Hedgehog with Tim the Toolman Taylor, and I won't hear it any other way. Oh, let's go to our viewer comments. So we have Xavier Ryan saying, "Hands up! I've only played Sonic Olympic games. I am so sorry, Xavier. watching Sonic have to compete against like Dr. Eggman or like Bowser in a sprint and it being like an even match, I don't get that.
Not realistic.
At least
But that's
Eggman would
what
have
it
a
is.
jetpack, or so it would be like you. It was they would always at least still have that cheating mechanism, so it's fine.
Yeah. Also, we have Adam Klosterman saying, just went to watch the Sonic Frontiers trailer. How did I miss this? It looks sweet. I agree. Dudus Monk saying, I've only played Sonic 2 and Sonic Forces. Congratulations, and I'm so sorry in that order. Also, Terry, also Dudus Monk bringing up, what was that Sonic Doom game we played? Yeah, so we were actually playing this recently, and it's a fan game called Sonic Roboblast 2. And it is fantastic. Someone took the Doom engine and created a Sonic game using the momentum of the Doom engine that naturally exists. And this is the thing, is that, so many fan games exist in the Sonic world that completely blow everything out of the water. There's a game called Project 06 that I think one person is working on that takes the train wreck of Sonic 06 and actually fixes it, adds on things, makes it a complete game. And most of it, a lot of the levels are now playable. You can go in there and really see, like, okay, this is probably what they had in mind when they were making the game. And there are entire standalone 3D Sonic games that have been made, like Roboblast, that are phenomenal and really could have been the direction that Sonic could have gone in. I really, at this point, wish that Sega would figure it out, that Mania worked, and give the keys to these people somehow. Pay them to make your games because they are obviously good at it. That's all I'm saying.
As it turns out, Sonic Mania is that one side-scrolling Sonic game that I had played way back when.
Oh, there you go. Good for you. Yeah,
I remember it
it's a
being
banger.
good. I remember it being good.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, we have got one more thing to get to, but first, as always, want to thank our sponsor, and that is going to be Pierce Unlimited. For marketing media that works and bespoke design to power your business, visit pierceunlimited.com. Bam. That was a quick one. Okay, so we have got to get into our special segment here because our guest, Liam, listen, we were just talking about this. We kind of bonded over Halo there on TikTok. You know, you're on the tech talk side, as they say. You kind of handle the tech reviews. So tell our listeners more about kind of what that is and how you got started and where you're at now.
Yeah, so TikTok is my primary platform of content these days. I try to post twice a day during the week there, and I'm having more fun actually posting to YouTube this year, which has been much more creatively fulfilling than that terrible app. Love the platform, hate the app. So
get it.
Yeah, right. It's oh my
Go
goodness.
figure.
Oh man, so many issues with that app.
Yeah.
But so Tech Talk is the space. There's lots of little like blank talk niches within the app, and Tech Talk is gaming hardware, PC peripherals, controllers, keyboards especially was a big one for a while, and still is a lot these days. But yeah, so I got started because my wife got on TikTok back in like fall of 2019. And at that point, it was still, I think, kind of new to the crossover from Musical.ly. And so it was a lot of like just kind of sappy music songs, lots of people dancing, lots of like, I think dog content, which is what she gravitated towards immediately because we have 3 dogs ourselves and dogs are 99%, probably a little bit more than me, her heart. And so that was a lot of like early TikTok. So I was kind of like, oh, that's cool, right on. And then, heard some people talking about how like, yeah, like TikTok is an up and coming social media platform. And if you want to grow some kind of like, Twitch channel, for example, post to TikTok because it's new. And then I started kind of browsing a little bit more. And the early TikTok Twitch content was just, it's the worst. It was lots of like sad piano music with people being like, I've been streaming for 10 years to 4 viewers. Just give me a shot. And it's like, I think you should have given up a long time ago. But like, no, I won't give you a shot. At just all sorts of like pity talk, right? And then at some point, some of like the biggest tech creators, Carter PCs, if anybody has browsed a slight bit of PC hardware, has probably seen a video of his. He's the biggest by far in that space. Tony Tech Bytes, another really awesome tech creator, and then they kind of started making more like actually good, legitimate PC coverage content, and then that kind of grew, and then 2020, and then 2021, and now it's just a very legitimized platform for like PC brand deals, and not even kind of YouTube to 1-in-1, but in a different form. If YouTube is long form tech, TikTok is the best place to do short form tech content. for sure. So I'm slightly in there. My 65,000 followers and I like to hang out and chill and look at mice and PC stuff. And it's been a crazy cool platform to. I've gotten to work with Elgato. I just got sent some lights from Aperture, which is my jaw was on the floor the entire day. I got that email. Still is. It's somewhere over there.
You're rocking that lighting right now, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. This actually is a $30 newer light. My just off camera over there is all my newer stuff because that's where I will film most of the videos, as well as that red light actually behind me is a small Aperture light. So yeah, we're getting it worked in the setup. But it's been great, and then a company called Be Quiet that makes quiet fan related PC components. So they have cases, they have PC case fans, they have power supplies and water coolers for PCs. I emailed them a couple weeks ago and was like, "Hey, my PC case fans are super loud. Do you want to work together and maybe send something?" And they were like, "Sure." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, all right, here we go. What's up?" So they sent me some fans. I did some videos. They did really well. And they were like, "If you want to, let us know if you want anything else." I was like, "Yes, please." So here's a couple ideas. And they were like, "Sounds great." And so what they sent me was a new power supply, a giant case. This is my computer right here. And if this is where, if the backs are lined up, the new case is probably here. Or something like that. It's a massive new case, and so I'm in the process of that build right now, which is also just off of frame. Should have brought it in frame, but it's been a ton of fun. It's been really cool it's totally dream come true kind of stuff to find the world of PC gaming and because my family had a computer growing up, and I played the original Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, and tons of fun, but then didn't really realize just kind of how intense of an industry it got. And then in high school, 2013, 2012-ish or so, kind of rediscovered that, and then was like, oh my gosh, it's this whole brand new thing that completely rivals consoles. And now, kind of surpasses it in a lot of ways. But yeah, finding these industries, or finding these brands in this industry, and now working with some of them, it's insane. It's I still have no idea how to wrap my head around it, and I try to be to find perspective where I can, and certainly be grateful for the opportunity, because if it ever goes away, it's been fun while it's lasted. But yeah, so that's what I do.
Well, I'll tell you, you're one of my go-tos for advice on just about any gaming hardware. So
yeah, cool.
You're doing something right, man.
Thank
and I'll
you.
tell you, I checked out your YouTube content recently, and listen, and to all of our listeners and viewers, there's going to be a link to Liam's YouTube channel and his TikTok as well. But definitely subscribe to this guy on YouTube, because the gaming content you've been putting out, nice little 10-minute bites. That's the sweet spot for me of really insightful game. I love the episode you did about Skyrim is the greatest game that you never beat.
Yep.
And it seemed like it's resonating a lot with people. What's that shift been like for you to produce that kind of content?
Oh, it's been way more fun. Not only just in terms of a execution, where I like the writing process. That's something that TikTok doesn't really afford, is the writing process. I will script my TikToks, because the second I go from, okay, here's an idea, to my brain goes out the window. So I have to script my content, but it's just more bullet point notes. It's not Skill Up, for example, is a gaming journalist channel that I love to watch, and I love the way he talks about games. And Top Gear as well, even though that's automotive, the way that they're, or I guess, old Top Gear UK and then Grand Tour and stuff. It's cars, it's the mechanics and the engineering, but it's also how does the driver or a fan of automotive connect to their car, and almost the emotional connection. And I find that a lot in video games, as well as everybody does. It's not just a pastime or a way to spend time, but it's this was my childhood. This brought me through some dark times. This was the highlight of that year, things like that. So I love doing that with tech and with gaming, especially. And TikTok's not the platform for that, but with YouTube, yeah, it's been great to try to take all these thoughts that are just in my head of that kind of feeling, and then trying to write it out. Has been a challenge for sure, but it's been incredibly creatively rewarding to then process it, and I guess just kind of put it somewhere rather than just kind of stew with it. I can actually leave it somewhere and go anybody else can relate. And it was really cool. Yeah, that Skyrim video was one that I've been wanting to make for a long time, because I'm on my fourth new save, not my fourth playthrough, my fourth new save that I still have yet to actually complete the game with. and then I paused it to play Elden Ring, so we're still in progress. But it was really cool. And Juve is a Skyrim channel who makes a lot of his popular series are Can You Beat Skyrim Without Leaving Riften, without leaving I almost said Whiterun. I get Game of Thrones and Skyrim's very, very Skyrim locations mixed up all the time.
Right.
And
Game of Rims.
Yeah, exactly. And so those videos did incredibly well for him. I've followed on TikTok. It's kind of where he started, and then he went back and forth between TikTok and YouTube. He ended up sharing it to his community tab, and a lot of people I think came over from there and watched it. And it was so much more of that serotonin boost for posting content when people are like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I relate 100%." Like, this is exactly me. I have 500 hours in it, and I've never beaten the game, or I have 2,000 hours in it, and I've never beaten the game. And that connection is yes, views are less for sure, but each new subscriber means a lot more because it's TikTok is only, unless you browse like your following tab, which I think not a lot of people do. Every view on TikTok is an algorithm fed view. So yes, it's cool and it's crazy when a video gets 100,000 views, but that 2,000 view Skyrim video, everybody chose to be there. And so that means a lot more. And yeah, just having the time to also say more than just like, here's the thing and blah, blah, blah. And then boom, done. It's like, no, here's like what it means to me. Here's some backstory context. It's been great. It's been really cool to try to execute more on. And then figure out also how to make the type of video that I want, but it's been so much more creatively rewarding for sure.
So Nick, you talked about we just heard from Liam talking about being able to share and have more creative space to share his perspective. I think we've got a segment right that we've been itching to get to here about wanting to hear Liam's perspective right on a particular topic.
Gosh.
You teased it earlier, right?
You are correct. We are gonna play a round
Break
of
that thing.
Okay, so how this is going to work is, and this is, I just made this up. How it's going to work, Liam, is we are going to have you just give us, you can give us an overview. Consider this long-form content, okay?
Okay.
You can put this on the YouTubes afterwards.
all right.
Let us know, your experience with Halo Infinite, because I've gotten very small chunks of it on TikTok, like you said.
Yes.
But I want to know the full Liam review. Halo Infinite, at the end, I need a score out of 10, and if the panel agrees with you here today, all three of us, you will win yourself a QTB t-shirt. How's that sound?
Hey! All right.
Okay. Give it to us.
So, okay. For starters, and this will kind of give some kind of context, I haven't thought about the game in about 5 months. So, but, okay, let's see. Starting from the beginning.
We all?
Right? 343 takes over the Halo IP. They make 4. They make 5. Nah. And then Halo Infinite, and there's a ground up PC build that's going to be free to play multiplayer. Not sure why that wasn't the most immediately giant red flag right out of the gate, but whatever. We're all hoped for. Okay, cool. Like sick. More people are going to be playing Halo. I guess that's only good. New platform, obviously Game Pass. Just so many people are subscribed to Game Pass. You immediately get the campaign. Lots of fun stuff. The technical test comes out. I got on like the 4th wave or something like that. I meant to like kind of get on a lot of the earlier ones because I love the Bungie Halo games. I had played 2 was the first one at a friend's house when I was like 10, and my parents didn't like M-rated games, or my mom didn't like M-rated games, and then I would always have to like really like, Mom, like my friend has Halo, can I play? And then all right, and then so that was like Halo 2, and then 3, and then I got a 360, and then finally got 3 for myself. I was like, heck yes. And then Red versus Blue was at like probably some of its peak during that time.
Yes, it was.
Oh, it's so many just fun videos. And then Forge was so cool. I think everybody in some realm loved Legos when they were a kid. And then to me, Forge was like digital Legos, and now PC building is like big boy Legos. So that was that. And then Halo Reach. Oh my gosh, Halo Reach is still up there in my favorite games of all times list. I think it's like, I like single player games a lot more these days. I played, so much Reach in high school. And that's my favorite Halo game. And I would probably guess that some people who love 3, for example, who were all about 3, considered Reach to be fairly polarizing. And I understand that for sure. And so then, it moved on, to be really brief with that, and then moved on. 343 make 4 and 5. Didn't really have any interest. I had a PS4 and I had a PC, but 4 and 5 never was enough for me to go buy an Xbox One. And then Infinite. All right, here we go. Like another take again. It's coming to PC. The technical test was rough, to say the least. Network issues. you could tell the bones of a great game were there, but it wasn't done. It felt like an early access alpha or something like that. And then it was like, all right, the beta is going to be released, with the 20th anniversary of Xbox, and it was the exact same thing as you played in the technical test. And then it was like, all right, full release on December 15th, and it was the exact same thing you played in the beta. And it was clear at that point that it was like, okay, they don't really have a good vision for this. And then so I start making my videos on covering like, it's not that good, right? Like, I'm a big Halo fan, but I don't think it's that great. And you get some people being like, it's dog water, it's terrible. And other people being like, just give it some time. Like, it just came out, they'll work on it. And I'm like, yeah, it just came out, but they've been making this game for 6 years, and it was delayed for a year, and they only worked on the campaign for the last year. So multiplayer was done 18 months ago, effectively, to where it, whatever it released. And so it was like, okay, so it's not that great, but you know what? I love Halo. Let me give it a shot. Oh man, and it was just rough to try to find enjoyment out of it. I couldn't find the gameplay I thought was really not fluid. I thought there were just the technical issues on the network side. Like, so many of the guns that would have been, I think, maybe hit scan, felt like projectiles. And so so like, where things where guns didn't work like they should. I thought the maps felt incredibly uninspired. And the fact that the biggest thing, I didn't find enjoyment in the game, but the biggest thing when they were shipping this as like here we go, like 10 years of Halo, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, yes. And any maybe person that doesn't have rose tinted Halo glasses are going, you have like 3 modes, 7 maps, and like a really bad battle pass. That's all just stuff from Reach, because it was, Heroes of Reach. And it like, this is a shell of a Halo game. And I remember I called it that in one of the videos, and someone was like, oh, that's disrespectful. I was like, no, them pretending that this is a worthwhile product that people should bother spending money on, whether it's the, a battle pass, cosmetics, or the campaign, is ridiculous. And I was trying to kind of, think bigger picture about it. I never played the campaign. I will probably never play the campaign. It looked very copy and paste. Graphically, it did not look good at all. And Halo games have never been, since like 2, I think, or something like that, like top graphical games of the year. But it also doesn't look like a great game of the year anyways, or a great game visually anyways. And a lot of people are like, well, you know what? It's just as good of a Halo game anyways than the rest of them. And I'm sitting here going, I mean, 1, no, but 2, and I can't remember who said this, but someone said that Halo's campaign, Infinite's campaign, should not be judged on previous campaigns. They should be judged on other $60 single player games that come out these days. And you look at something like Halo Infinite's campaign versus anything that's come out this year, Elden Ring, Forbidden West, Dying Light 2, even something like that. It's half-baked. It's incredibly bare bones, uninspired, and just an awful cash grab, because the only thing you ever saw after release was tournament, battle pass, cosmetics, event stuff, and it's like, oh gosh. So it meets this modern era of AAA multiplayer gaming, which is mid-content, but like, you can make your Spartan look really cool. Wow. I'll add, so.
All right, so as of right now, Liam, that was a lot. I'm already impressed, but you've got
that thing.
Out of 10, Halo Infinite, what's the score?
Big picture, I would say, let's go just multiplayer, because campaigns is something.
Okay,
decimals are allowed. You can go mid numbers. It doesn't have to be a round number.
Yeah.
Man.
I'll wait for it.
4. I was holding up 4, thinking that's what
knew.
I guess.
He knew. So obviously, Enzo, that means you're giving a thumbs up on that then.
Okay. Yeah, hard to argue with all that.
Yeah.
I know that some people won't agree with me in terms of like, I also find it not fun and enjoyable, but I also think there's a really fair bit of like, there's not a lot of maps, there's not a lot of modes, and that's
the
emptiness.
bar has been set way higher, and this doesn't seem to have the effort to reach the previous high points. So
no, not even
close.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Brad, what do we got from you? Thumbs up?
We've talked about it on a few previous episodes. I think it echoes a lot of what we've felt and what we've seen too, as being someone who's had rose-colored Halo glasses on, wanting it to be something great and special, and feeling like, especially in the multiplayer experience, trying to work through the battle pass and feeling like it was a very lackluster attempt at providing, like, you get one shin guard in one level, like a tier, like what? Like, and then you have to get to the next tier to
Just
get
the one.
other one,
Yeah.
like
To get the other one. Oh, that's
like,
the worst.
There's
I
no
mean,
choice. There's no
and
choice.
yeah, I mean, like it
Get
just
these items.
seems, it seems, it seemed very like they just kind of airmailed it in on the multiplayer battle pass experience. And there's several other games. If that's if that's what you're focusing your effort on, and that's what you want people to come play and have a bigger audience, then you didn't do a good job, because that is a major flop. And for the people who first got in on day one release and bought credits to do that, they then discounted that stuff like a week later. So Bruno, shout out to Bruno, we miss you, buddy. He bought like a bunch of credits to buy the battle pass and have stuff to hold on to, and he ended up spending twice as much money, because they then realized their pricing model was bonkers for most people and cut everything in half. And they didn't refund those people who spent money like day one on like all the credits. So I mean, it was just you know, we've talked many times on this podcast about what's the best way to have a successful launch of a game these days. Is it to wait till you've got something to every iota developed? Is it to go beta and then kind of work on the fly? And I think there's not a one recipe fits all, but if you're going to go on this launch and then kind of plan 10 years out, you need to have rolling content that's ready to go. And it was clear that they were not ready. And you know, that's where I see it. So I totally, Liam nailed it for me. I agree.
I totally forgot about the cut features too, with like co-op and Forge and some of those other things that didn't make it. Like,
oh yeah.
There you go.
Season 3, season 4, season 9.
Yep.
I mean, when's it coming? Like,
are they just going to drop it after the end of this year when they realize that no one's playing it?
Would this game have been better if Sonic was in it? No, just
Yes. The answer is always yes.
can I get? Well, no. Let me guess. We're gonna get Sonic Ears or Sonic Tail to deck out our Spartan. I'm gonna get. Sonic
gosh.
go on.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a little assault rifle attachment, right?
Never mind, I'm
Little
interested.
keychain.
Get a little, you know, like Call of Duty chain. And get a little Sonic keychain. You know.
Chili dog. Yeah. There you go.
Well, they already had a
Well,
cat
it's a
ears, so.
Well, it's a thumbs up from those two, and it's a thumbs up from me, which means, Liam, you are a winner of a QTB t-shirt from our merchandise page at quitthebuild.com/merchandise. You're going to get your piece of swag, sir. That's squad swag, and be looking the bester in polyester as one of our classic QTB designs. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Those shirts are sick, by the way.
Very nice.
I meant to make a comment in the intro. I thought they're so sick looking.
We, you know, Bruno puts in the work with some incredible designs. And hey, great segue, by the way. Make sure to stop by our website, quitthebuild.com. We got lots of great content there for you. Our blog articles. We've got links to our QTB network partners like Enzo over here, who is putting out just pure conversational gold. Even if you don't like wrestling, stop by, because those Hey Big segments at the beginning of every episode. I mean, you guys could take that show on the road. That's all I'm saying.
You can just take any of them and insert them into this podcast. We won't mind.
and Enzo, just for our
positive.
listeners who check you out, one of your next shows coming up, you guys will be covering the latest Double or Nothing pay-per-view from AEW.
We're gonna go over Double or Nothing. We're gonna go over for whoever, whatever this means to anyone. MJF and the
the Wardlow
debacle
situation
that surrounds that. Wrestling is crazy right now, and it's at its best when real life is interjected into behind the scenes, and that is a lot of what's going on right now. So yeah, we'll be breaking that down soon.
Awesome. Well, we'll have links to your podcast there, Enzo, as well as your Twitch stream there at Enzo is Mad. And Liam, of course, we'll have links in the description for your TikTok and YouTube content. Enzo, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and Liam, thank you so much for joining us, both guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, loved it.
Awesome. All right. Well, until next time. Oh, yeah, this is the thing that we always forget to tell our guests they have to do. You know, there's always a surprise at the end. We have to go through this. Okay, so it's going to be me, then Enzo, then Brad, and then you are going to bring it home, Liam. You're going to have to say for Nick, Enzo, and Brad, I'm Liam. Don't worry, I can edit and post unless you're on Patreon and you're getting it raw. Here we go. Until next time, everybody, for Enzo, Liam, and Brad, I'm Nick.
For Nick,
For
Enzo,
Nick,
and
Liam,
Liam.
and Brad, I'm Enzo.
I completely missed the instructions on that.
There was too much space between the people. I gotta say it quicker.
We'll do it live. I love it. You know what? It can't always go perfectly, but that's the way it goes. Take us home, Brad.
All right. Well, for everyone listening, thank you. Peace out. What it do?